Welcome to the final challenge for texting and driving. You should have just completed your app, which will be uh, incredibly helpful to solve these problems. So, the directions: use your completed text and driving app to solve the scenarios below. Scenario one is our original scenario. This is how we introduced texting and driving. You've got the student in this vehicle responding to a text from this student, his friend, as he's about to go pick him up. So if you're interested, please rewatch this scenario. But here is the information you need. Okay, so both students are distracted by their phone use. Student A is driving the car in the parking lot to go pick up student B, not realizing that student B is walking out in front of the vehicle 30 meters ahead. Student A is driving through the parking lot at 4.5 meters per second, which is roughly 10 miles per hour, and is distracted by his text message for 5 seconds. Once student A picks up his head and sees his friend, he reacts and takes 0.65 seconds to hit the brakes and decelerates at a rate of 5 meters per second per second. Does student A stop his vehicle before hitting student B? Answer the questions 1 through 5 using your app based on this scenario. So again, you want to be able to open your app and use it in order to solve this scenario. The first thing you want to do is enter the distance to the walker. So that said 30 meters. Then you want to try and add the input from the scenario. So the velocity of the car was 4.5 meters per second. Being distracted for 5 seconds. Okay, so again, you're going through and adding that information, and it's going to start finding your distance outputs for you. Continue that with the reaction time and the rate of deceleration. This then will help you answer how far did the vehicle travel while distracted. Again, that is going to be this total distance in meters here. Oh, sorry, I apologize. While distracted. So that's just looking for this value here. How far did the student or vehicle travel while student A reacted? So that would be this distance here, but keep in mind I haven't put the number in yet. So once you put in your reaction time, you'll see the updated distance. How far did the vehicle travel while braking? So that's just going to be this number once you enter the rate of deceleration. And then the short answer, did student A stop his vehicle before hitting student B? Again, if we've set up our app correctly, it's going to tell you if this is a safe scenario or if it ended badly and you need to call 911. So once you get that, your answer will more or less be right there. Next scenario, if student A was traveling 4.9 meters per second, so that is 11 miles per hour instead of 10 miles per hour. So again, the question is asking, if the student A was driving just 1 mile per hour faster, how would the scenario have ended? Okay, would it end the same or would it end different? And again, you can answer by just saying call 911 or that was close. And I would encourage you to use your numbers to support your claim. Scenario 2, okay, a little bit more complicated, but I included a diagram to help you see it. This is where we're going to use the Alert Driver tab and Distracted Driver tab to help you solve this scenario. So you're going to be solving the scenario for 2 different vehicles. Traffic is getting busy on the freeway, but car A and car B, okay, say car A, car B, are still able to drive at 22.3 meters per second. It might sound like an odd number, but that's 55 miles per hour, so that's usually a normal speed limit. Car B is driving behind car A and leaving a typical safe distance of 20 meters between itself and car A. Okay, so it's leaving 20 meters between itself and car A. That's probably pretty average, or even on the safe side. Car A is driving alert, so that means 0 seconds of distraction, and notices that traffic 80 meters ahead is coming to a complete stop. Because car A is alert, it's able to react in 0.2 seconds to hit the brakes and decelerates comfortably at 3.5 meters per second. Car B is driving distracted, but only read a short text message. So it took 2.3 seconds. So read a text message for 2.3 seconds. That's really not very long. If you remember back to our data, 2.3 seconds was really short. So just read a short text message. Car B took half a second to react, though. If you remember back to our reaction data, reaction times tended to double if you were distracted. So since reaction time doubles when distracted, it took half a second. And hit the brakes much harder, right? Car B was distracted, maybe in a panic mode now, hits the brakes much harder to decelerate abruptly at 6.5 meters per second. And if you recall, this was about as high as a non-professional vehicle and driver could achieve, depending on their circumstances. So this is a very good rate of braking. So that's the scenario. Brakes abruptly, brakes calmly, going the same velocity down the freeway. And one thing to keep in mind is the total distance is going to be a little bit different for each vehicle. Okay, car A has 80 meters, but car B is a little bit behind car A. So you got to think about the total distance for car B when you're answering these questions. So this scenario to answer questions 6 through 10 and fill it in to your tab. So again, you have an alert driver tab to fill in the alert information. Okay, something to keep in mind, 22.3 meters per second. The time of distraction was 0. So it makes sense that your distance while distracted is 0 for your alert driver. For your distracted driver, again, it's the same velocity, and it was 2.3 seconds. Okay, so once you enter that, you're going to start getting this information. But don't forget as well to input the distance. We've used it as distance to walker. In this scenario, it's distance before the stopped vehicle. Okay, so that would be 80 meters for the alert driver. And again, it may not be the same number for the distracted driver, so you got to figure that out. Okay, and then you can answer this. What was the total distance traveled? Again, your app will tell you that. What was the total distance for car A? And did the car A stop before rear-ending traffic, or did it hit the stopped cars? Okay, you want to try and use your calculations to support the claim. Then 8, what was the total difference while reacting and stopping for car B? Okay, and did car B stop before rear-ending car A, or did car B hit car A? And then again, try to use your calculation to support your claim. And last but not least, what lesson does the scenario teach us about the risks of texting and driving? And I've given you some hints, and I want you to really write about it as much as you can. And it's more of an opinion, but I want you to think about the scenario. So something to consider. Did car A have to brake hard? And did car A stop safely? So again, if I read the scenario, Car A did not have to brake hard. It hit the brakes comfortably and decelerated kind of slow. So then, did it accomplish its goal? Did it stop safely? Car B, did car B have to brake hard? And then did it stop safely? And was car B distracted for a long time or a short amount of time? And then what might that mean? Okay, in this scenario, and it depends on the result that you got. So uh, try to talk about what lesson does this scenario to teach us in relation to texting and driving and the risk. If you have any questions, please let me know, and good luck.